The Comic English Grammar. Part 1. Orthography. Chapter 1. Of the nature of the letters, and of a comic alphabet. Orthography is like a schoolmaster, or instructor of youth. It teaches us the nature and powers of letters and the right method of spelling words. Comic orthography teaches us the oddity and absurdities of letters and the wrong method of spelling words. The following is an example of comic orthography. Islington 14th of my 008, Dear Gems, February 1844. When fust I sawed you down the middle and up agin att the ball. I made up my mind to skewer you for my own, for I felt at once that my happiness was at stake, and a sensation in my bussum. I couldn't no ways accom for, and I said to Mary at Mrs. Higgins's, said I, there's the man for my money, oh, says she, I knows a sweeter young man than that ere do you, says I agin. Then there we agree to differ, and we was sitting by the window, and we woes worry near falling out. My dear Gems, since that night I harvent slept a wink, and what is more to the purpose, I have quit lost my appetite and am getting was, which I think you ought to pity me. I am told every day that I'm getting thinner, and a gypsy said that nothing would cure me but a ring. I was a long time marking my mind up to write to you, for of course I says Gems will think me too forrad, but this being leap year I thought I'd make a plunge, leastways to a you them as don't want to be old maids all their blessed lives. So my dear Gems, if ya want a pardner for better or for was nows your time, don't think I behave despicable for tease my love for you as makes me take this step. Please to burn this letter when read, and excuse the scrawls and blotches which is caused by my terrors. I remain till death your unhappy Valentine. Jane, you know who. Postscript. Next Sunday is my Sunday out, and I shall be att the corner of White Street at 7:15. 009. When this you see, remember me. J.G. Illustration 018. Now, to proceed with orthography, we may remark that a letter is the least part of a word. Of a comic letter an instance has already been given. Dr. Johnson's letter to Lord Chesterfield is a capital letter. The letters of the alphabet are the representatives of articulate sounds. The alphabet is a republic of letters. There, 010, are many things in this world erroneously as well as vulgarly compared to bricks. In the case of the letters of the alphabet, however, the comparison is just. They constitute the fabric of a language, and grammar is the mortar. The wonder is that there should be so few of them. The English letters are 26 in number. There is nothing like beginning at the beginning, and we shall now therefore enumerate them, with the view also of rendering their insertion subsidiary to mythological instruction, in conformity with the plan on which some account of the heathen deities and ancient heroes is prefixed, or subjoined to a dictionary. We present the reader with a form of alphabet composed in humble imitation of that famous one, which, while appreciable by the dullest taste, and level to the meanest capacity, is nevertheless that by which the greatest minds have been agreeably inducted into knowledge. The alphabet. A was Apollo, the god of the carol. B stood for Bacchus, astride on his barrel. C for good Ceres, the goddess of grist. D was Diana, that wouldn't be kissed. E was Nymph Echo, that pined to a sound. F was sweet Flora, with buttercups crowned. G was Jove's potboy, young Ganymede hight. H was fair Hebe, his barmaid so tight. I, little Io, turned into a cow. J, jealous Juno, that spiteful old sow. K was Kitty, more lovely than goddess or muse. L, Locoon, I wouldn't have been in his shoes. 011. M was blue-eyed Minerva, with stockings to match. N was Nestor, with grey beard and silvery thatch. O was lofty Olympus, King Jupiter's shop. P Parnassus, Apollo hung out on its top. Q stood for key rights, the Romans, to wit. R for Rantipole Rocius, that made such a hit. S for Sappho, so famous for Phelodicea. T for Thales the Wise, FRS and MD. U was crafty Ulysses, so artful a dodger. V was Hopakic Vulcan, that limping old codger. Venus I mean with a W begins. Vale, if I ham a cockney, what need of your grins? X was Xantippe, the scratch cat and shrew. Y, I don't know what Y was, whack me if I do. Z was Zeno the Stoic, Zenobia the clever, and Zoilus the critic, whose fame lasts forever. Letters are divided into vowels and consonants. The vowels are capable of being perfectly uttered by themselves. They are, as it were, independent members of the alphabet, and like independent members elsewhere, form a small minority. The vowels are _a, e, I, o, u _, and sometimes _w and _y . An IOU is a more pleasant thing to have than it is to give. A blow in the stomach is very likely to W up. W is a consonant when it begins a word, as wicked. Will Wiggins whacked his wife with a whip, but in every other place it is a vowel, as crawling, drawling, sawnay, screwing, Jew. Y follows the same rule. A consonant is an articulate sound, but, like an old bachelor, if it exists alone, it exists to no purpose. Chapter 2. Of syllables. Syllable 015 is a nice word. It sounds so much like syllabub. A syllable, whether it constitute a word or part of a word, is a sound, either simple or compound, produced by one effort of the voice, as, oh, what a lark! Here we are. Spelling is the art of putting together the letters which compose a syllable, or the syllables which compose a word. Comic spelling is usually the work of imagination. The 016 chief rule to be observed in this kind of spelling is to spell every word as it is pronounced, though the rule is not universally observed by comic spellers. The following example, for the genuineness of which we can vouch, is one so singularly apposite, that although we have already submitted a similar specimen of orthography to the reader, we are irresistibly tempted to make a second experiment on his indulgence. The epistolary curiosity, then, which we shall now proceed to transcribe, was addressed by a patient to his medical adviser. Sir, my grandmother woes very much troubled with the gout and died. With it my father woes also and died with it when I was 14 years of age. I was in the habit of getting wet feet every night by pumping water out of a cellar which cast me to have the tips fever which cast my deafness when I was 23 of age. I fell in the water bet when the ice, and I have been in the habit of getting wet when travelling. I have been troubled with gout for 7 years. Your most humble serve. Among the various kinds of spelling may be enumerated spelling for a favor, or giving what is called a broad hint. Certain rules for the division of words into syllables are laid down in some grammars, and we should be very glad to follow the established usage, but limited as we are by considerations of carmicality and space. We, 017, cannot afford to give more than 2 very general directions. If you do not know how to spell a word, look it out in the dictionary, and, if you have no dictionary by you, write the word in such a way that, while it may be guessed at, it shall not be legible. Chapter 3. Of words in general. There is no one question that we are aware of more puzzling than this. What is your opinion of things in general? Words in general are, fortunately for us, a subject on which the formation of an opinion is somewhat more easy. Words stand for things, they are sort of counters, checks, banknotes, and sometimes, indeed, they are notes for which people get a great deal of money. Such words, however, are, alas, not generally English words, but Italian. Strange. That so much should be given for a mere song. It is quite clear that the givers, whatever may be their pretensions to a refined or literary taste, must be entirely unacquainted with _words_worth. Fine words are oily enough, and he who uses them is vulgarly said to cut it fat, but for all that it is well known that they will not butter parsnips. Some say that words are but wind. For this reason, when people are having words, it is often said that the wind's up. Different. 018. Words please different people. Philosophers are fond of hard words, pedants of tough words, long words, and crackjaw words. Bullies, of rough words, boasters, of big words, the rising generation of slang words, fashionable people, of French words, wits, of sharp words and smart words, and ladies, of nice words, sweet words, soft words, and soothing words, and, indeed, of words in general. Words, when spoken, are articulate sounds used by common consent as signs of our ideas. A word of one syllable is called a monosyllable, as you are a great oaf. A word of two syllables is named a dissyllable, as catgut, music. A word of three syllables is termed a trisyllable, as magnetism, mummer. A word of four or more syllables is entitled a polysyllable, as interminable circumlocution, exasperated, functionary, metropolitan, rotundi. Words of more syllables than one are sometimes comically contracted into one syllable, as, in espose for suppose, believe for believe, and skews for excuse. Here, perhaps, bus, abbreviated from omnibus, deserves to be mentioned. In like manner, many long words are elegantly trimmed and shortened, as ornery for ordinary, strawnery for extraordinary, and curiosity for curiosity, to which mistress for mysterious may also be added. Polysyllables are an essential element in the sublime, both in poetry and in prose, but especially in that 019 species of the sublime which borders very closely on the ridiculous, as Aldi Boranti Fosca Formio. Where left's thou Cranenhoten Thalagos? All words are either primitive or derivative. A primitive word is that which cannot be reduced to any simpler word in the language, as brass, York, knave. A derivative word, under the head of which compound words are also included, is that which may be reduced to another and a more simple word in the English language, as brazen, Yorkshire, knavery, mudlark, lighterman. Broadbrim is a derivative word, but it is one often applied to a very primitive kind of person. Part 2. Etymology. Chapter 1. A comical view of the parts of speech. The derivation of words means that which they come from as words . 4. What they come from as sounds is another matter. Some words come from the heart, and then they are pathetic, others from the nose, in which case they are ludicrous. The funniest place, however, from which words can come is the stomach. By the way, the mayor would do well to keep a ventriloquist, from whom, at a moment's notice, he might ascertain the voice of the corporation. Comic etymology teaches us the varieties, modifications, and derivation of words invested with a comic character. Grammatically speaking, we say that there are, in English, as many sorts of words as a cat is said to have lives, 9, namely, the article, the substantive or noun, the adjective, the pronoun, the verb, the adverb, the preposition, the conjunction, and the interjection. Comically speaking, there are a great many sorts of words which we have not room enough to particularize individually. We can therefore only afford to classify them. For instance, there are words which are spoken in 021, the Low Countries and are High Dutch to persons of quality. Words in use amongst all those who have to do with horses. Words that pass between rival cabmen. Words spoken in a state of intoxication. Words uttered under excitement. Words of endearment, addressed by parents to children in arms. Similar words, sometimes called burning, tender, soft, and broken words. Addressed to young ladies, and whispered, lisped, sighed, or drawled. According to circumstances. Words of honor, as tailor's words and shoemaker's words, which, like the above-mentioned, or lover's words, are very often broken. With many other sorts of words, which will be readily suggested by the reader's fancy. But now let us go on with the parts of speech. 1. An article is a word prefixed to substantives to point them out, and to show the extent of their meaning, as underscore a dandy, underscore an underscore ape, underscore the underscore simpleton. One kind of comic article is otherwise denominated an oddity, or queer article. Another kind of comic article is often to be met with in some of our monthly magazines. 2. A substantive or noun is the name of anything that exists, or of which we have any notion, as underscore tinker, tailor, soldier, sailor, apothecary, ploughboy, thief. Underscore. Now the above definition of a substantive is Lindley Murray's, not ours. We mention this because we have an objection, though not, perhaps, a serious one, to 022 urge against it. For, in the first place, we have no notion of impudence, and yet impudence is a substantive, and, in the second, we invite attention to the following piece of logic. A substantive is something, but nothing is a substantive. Therefore, nothing is something. A substantive may generally be known by its taking an article before it, and by its making sense of itself, as a underscore treat underscore, the underscore mulligrubs underscore, an underscore ache underscore. 3. An adjective is a word joined to a substantive to denote its quality, as a underscore ragged underscore regiment, an underscore odd underscore set. You may distinguish an adjective by its making sense with the word thing, as a underscore poor underscore thing, a underscore sweet underscore thing, a underscore cool underscore thing, or with any particular substantive, as a underscore ticklish underscore position, an underscore awkward underscore mistake, a underscore strange underscore step. 4. A pronoun is a word used in lieu of a noun, in order to avoid tautology, as the man wants calves, underscore he underscore is a lath, underscore he underscore is a walking stick. 5. A verb is a word which signifies to be, to do, or to suffer, as I calculate, I am fixed. A verb may usually be distinguished by its making sense with a personal pronoun, or with the word to before it, as I yell, he grins, they caper. Or to drink, to smoke, to chew. Fashionable accomplishments. Certain substantives are, with peculiar elegance, and by persons who call themselves underscore genteel underscore, converted into verbs, as, do you underscore wine, underscore. Will you underscore liquor, underscore. 6. An adverb is a part of speech which, joined to a verb, an adjective, or another adverb, serves to express quality or circumstance concerning it, as, she swears, 023, underscore dreadfully underscore, she is underscore incorrigibly underscore lazy, and she is underscore almost continually underscore in liquor. 7. An adverb is generally characterized by answering to the question, how much, when, or where, as in the verse, underscore merrily underscore danced the Quaker's wife. The answer to the question, how did she dance, is merrily. 8. Prepositions serve to connect words together, and to show the relation between them, as, off underscore with underscore his head, so much underscore for underscore Buckingham. 9. A conjunction is used to connect not only words, but sentences also, as, Smith underscore and underscore Jones are happy underscore be tilde cause underscore they are single. A Mrs. underscore as underscore good underscore as underscore a mile. 10. An 024. Interjection is a short word denoting passion or emotion. As underscore o underscore sophonisba. Sophonisba underscore o underscore pshaw. Pish. Poo. Bar. Ah. O. Youth. Your. Hum. Ha. Lork. La. Law. Hio. Well. There. And see. Among the foregoing interjections there may, perhaps, be some unhonored by the adoption of genius, and unknown in the domains of literature. 4. The present notice of them some apology may be required, but little will be given. Their insertion may excite astonishment, but their omission would have provoked complaint, though unprovided with a Johnsonian title. To a place in the English vocabulary, they have long been recognized by the popular voice, and let it be remembered that as custom supplies the defects of legislation, so that which is not sanctioned by magisterial authority may nevertheless be justified by vernacular usage.